Daniel is 34 years old. He has a degree, a stable corporate job, and has been working for over 10 years. He followed all the rules: go to school, get a good job, work hard, earn promotions, save money. But one night at 2:17 a.m., he checks his bank account and realizes something painful. Despite all his effort, he's still financially stuck. He isn't reckless with money. He doesn't overspend wildly. Yet his savings barely grow. His expenses always seem to rise with his income. Every raise disappears into a better apartment, a newer car, higher living costs. This is lifestyle inflation, earning more but never actually building wealth. Through conversations with his friend Maya, Daniel begins questioning what he was taught about money. He realizes he was trained to value a safe job above everything else. But jobs aren't truly safe. They depend on companies, markets, and decisions outside his control. He also discovers the salary illusion. A paycheck feels secure, but it has a ceiling. If he stops working, the money stops. Meanwhile, business owners and investors earn from assets, things that can generate income even when they're not actively working. Daniel starts tracking his spending and sees a pattern. Most of his money goes toward consumption, not ownership. He owns very little that actually pays him back. The big realization hits him. He's not broke because he doesn't earn enough. He's broke because he was taught to focus only on earning, not on owning. The hidden money trap isn't low income. It's the belief that income alone creates wealth. Daniel doesn't quit his job. Instead, he changes how he thinks. Instead of asking, "How can I earn more salary?" he starts asking, "How does money actually work?" He realizes something important. Employees trade time for money. Owners and investors use leverage, systems, assets, and ownership to make money grow without trading every hour. He learns that a salary has a limit. If you stop working, the money stops. But assets, like businesses, investments, or skills you can sell, can continue generating income. Daniel also discovers that most people follow this pattern: earn, spend, repeat. But wealthy people follow a different structure. Earn by assets, assets produce income, reinvest. The structure is different, and that's what creates wealth. He begins making small changes. Cuts unnecessary expenses, stops calling savings savings, and starts calling it capital, learns about investing and business, starts a small side consulting project using skills he already has. The money from his side work isn't huge, but it feels different. It doesn't come from an employer. It comes from value he created himself. That gives him something powerful: options. When his company later announces possible restructuring, he feels nervous, but not helpless. He now understands that relying on only one income source is actually risky. The biggest lesson he learns: the system isn't built to destroy you. It's built to use your time. If you never question it, you stay dependent on it. If you understand it, you can participate differently by building ownership. By the end of the chapter, Daniel realizes something deeper. Wealth is not about how much you earn. It's about how much control you have over income-generating systems. And staying only in a salary position isn't safe. In the long run, it may be the bigger risk. Daniel doesn't quit his job. Instead, he changes how he thinks. Instead of asking, "How can I earn more salary?" he starts asking, "How does money actually work?" He realizes something important. Employees trade time for money. Owners and investors use leverage, systems, assets, and ownership to make money grow without trading every hour. He learns that a salary has a limit. If you stop working, the money stops. But assets, like businesses, investments, or skills you can sell, can continue generating income. Daniel also discovers that most people follow this pattern: earn, spend, repeat. But wealthy people follow a different structure. Earn by assets, assets produce income, reinvest. The structure is different, and that's what creates wealth. He begins making small changes, cuts unnecessary expenses, stops calling savings savings, and starts calling it capital. Learns about investing in business, starts a small side consulting project using skills he already has. The money from his side work isn't huge, but it feels different. It doesn't come from an employer. It comes from value he created himself. That gives him something powerful: options. When his company later announces possible restructuring, he feels nervous, but not helpless. He now understands that relying on only one income source is actually risky. The biggest lesson he learns: the system isn't built to destroy you. It's built to use your time. If you never question it, you stay dependent on it. If you understand it, You can participate differently by building ownership. By the end of the chapter, Daniel realizes something deeper. Wealth is not about how much you earn. It's about how much control you have over income-generating systems. And staying only in a salary position isn't safe. In the long run, it may be the bigger risk. Daniel's company announces restructuring and possible layoffs. This time, instead of panicking, he feels prepared. Why? Because he no longer depends on only one income source. Over the past months, he built a small consulting side business, invested consistently, and controlled his expenses. He didn't become rich, but he became less fragile. He realizes something important. Real wealth isn't about luxury. It's about not depending on one paycheck. When coworkers get laid off, he sees the truth clearly. A safe job is not truly safe. Loyalty and hard work don't guarantee security. He also changes how he thinks about success. Instead of chasing promotions just for a higher salary, he starts asking for leverage, equity, performance upside, ownership opportunities. His side work becomes more systemized, meaning it earns money in a more structured way, not just by trading hours for cash. The biggest mindset shift happens when he compares his old beliefs with his new ones. Old thinking, a high salary means security. Debt is normal. Risk is dangerous. Ownership is only for the wealthy. New thinking, multiple income sources create stability. Lower expenses create power. Smart risk creates growth. Anyone can start owning something in the end. Daniel understands the final truth. The system doesn't keep people poor on purpose. It keeps them dependent. Most people try to earn their way to freedom. But real freedom comes from building ownership and systems. He wasn't poor because he lacked money. He was poor because he was never taught how money truly flows. And once he understood that, everything changed.
Ever feel like you're just stuck in a financial rut, working hard but getting nowhere? That was Daniel's life. He was a great guy, a talented graphic designer, but his bank account told a different story. Living paycheck to paycheck, with credit card debt piling up, he felt like he was drowning. Every time he got a little ahead, an unexpected expense would pull him right back under. It was a stressful, endless cycle, and he was starting to lose hope. He dreamed of traveling, of starting his own freelance business, but those dreams felt a million miles away. One evening, after a particularly tough day, Daniel decided enough was enough. He didn't want this to be his story forever. He started small, really small. He began tracking every single dollar he spent. It was eye-opening. The daily coffee, the subscription services he forgot he had, the impulse buys online, it all added up. Instead of feeling restricted, he felt empowered. He saw exactly where his money was going and realized he had more control than he thought. Next, he tackled his debt. He used the snowball method, focusing on paying off his smallest debt first. That small victory gave him a huge motivational boost. He sold things he didn't need, picked up a few side gigs, and threw every extra penny at his debt. It wasn't easy. There were times he wanted to give up and just buy the cool new gadget everyone was talking about. But he kept his goals in sight, visualizing that debt-free life. Slowly but surely, one by one, the balances started hitting zero. Fast forward to today, Daniel's life is completely different. He's not just debt-free, he's thriving. He has a solid emergency fund, invests regularly, and even took that trip to Southeast Asia he'd always dreamed of. He's now building his own freelance design business, confident and in control of his future. Daniel's story shows us that it doesn't matter where you start. With a clear plan, a little discipline, and a lot of belief in yourself, you can rewrite your financial story. It all begins with that one decision to change. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories.
Not because he needed it, but because it aligned with ownership. His income increased, yes. But more importantly, his equity stake grew. He wasn't just helping build someone else's system anymore. He had skin in the outcome. And here's the deeper truth that changed everything. Money responds to responsibility. The more responsibility you take for creating value, managing risk, and thinking long-term, the more opportunities appear. Most people wait for permission to earn more. Daniel started positioning himself to deserve more. The real transformation wasn't financial. It was psychological. He stopped seeing money as survival. He started seeing it as a tool to buy time, a tool to buy flexibility, a tool to buy opportunity. And then came the moment that proved the shift was permanent. A former colleague called him. Recently laid off. Panicked. I did everything right, the colleague said. I worked hard. I stayed loyal. I saved a little. Why does it feel like I'm starting over? Daniel paused. Because he remembered being that person. You're not starting over, he said calmly. You're waking up. He explained what no one had explained to him years ago. Income is temporary. Skills are leverage. Ownership is freedom. Structure is everything. The colleague asked the question most people eventually ask. So what should I do? Daniel didn't give a get-rich-quick answer. He gave a framework. Reduce fragility. Lower fixed expenses. Build one additional income stream. Learn how assets work. Reinvest consistently. Think in decades, not months. Simple, not easy. That's the part people struggle with. Breaking the programming isn't dramatic. It's repetitive. It's choosing investment over impulse. It's choosing learning over entertainment. It's choosing ownership over appearance. And slowly, life changes. Daniel still remembers that night years ago, staring at $428.16 in his account, feeling defeated. If he could speak to that version of himself, he wouldn't say, "Work harder." He would say, "You're not poor. You're positioned incorrectly." Because the hidden money trap was never about income level. It was about financial structure and psychological conditioning. Schools trained him to seek employment. Advertising trained him to consume. Society trained him to equate spending with progress. But no one trained him to think like an owner.
Have you ever felt like you're playing a game where the rules are set against you? You're not wrong. From the moment we're born, we're taught to follow a path. Go to school, get a good job, work hard, save money. But what if that path is designed to keep you running in place? The system isn't going to change. It's built on principles that have worked for centuries for a select few. The real question is, what are you going to do about it? You have a choice. You can stay dependent on a single paycheck, a single employer, a single source of validation. You can trade your time for money, hoping that one day you'll have enough to finally be free. This is the path of comfort, the path of predictability, but it's also the path of quiet desperation, where your potential is capped by someone else's ceiling. Or you can start building leverage. This isn't about finding a magic bullet or a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about a fundamental shift in your mindset. It's about understanding that your most valuable asset isn't just your time. It's your ability to solve problems, to create value, to learn and adapt. Capability compounds faster than cash. The skills you build today become the foundation for the opportunities of tomorrow. Think about it. Money can be lost, but a skill, once learned, is yours forever. So many of us choose the illusion of safety. We stay in jobs we don't love. We put off our dreams. We tell ourselves, someday. But comfort is expensive. Its true cost is paid in missed opportunities, in unfulfilled potential, in a life lived at a fraction of its capacity. The comfort of a steady paycheck can become the cage that keeps you from flying. So how do you break free? How do you start building your own game? It comes down to three things: ownership, systems, leverage. Ownership means taking full responsibility for your financial future. It's about creating assets, not just earning income. This could be a business, a brand, a piece of intellectual property, or a portfolio of investments. It's something that works for you, even when you're not working. Systems are the engine of ownership. They are the processes and structures you build to make your assets run without your constant intervention. A system allows you to scale your impact for beyond what you could achieve on your own. It turns your effort into an automated, value-generating machine. And leverage is the force multiplier. It's using your skills, your network, your capital, and your systems to achieve exponential results. It's the difference between adding and multiplying. It is how you go from trading time for money to making your money and your assets work for you. Look around you. The world is changing faster than ever. The old rules no longer apply. This is your moment. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Start today. Learn a new skill. Start that side project. Build that first small system. Take ownership of one small part of your financial life. The path isn't easy, but the alternative is a lifetime of regret. The choice is yours. Subscribe for more deep breakdowns on money, ownership, and leverage. Like this video. If income alone isn't enough, share this with someone who feels stuck. Comment. What asset will you start building this year? Don't be programmed. Be positioned.